Lately, I've been doing more work with AD licensed SIEMs, such as JASK and Exabeam. And I find this licensing model pretty interesting. So, what it is rather than being charged by gigs per day or events per second, like a more traditional SIEM, Splunk, QRadar, ArcSight, that sort of thing. What these guys do is they say, based on the number of users in your AD, there's going to be a flat rate for the tool, and you can collect as much data and log as much data as you want. And I think this is an interesting approach because it helps with a problem that we always have when we're starting new SIM solutions. And that's, how do we make sure that we're being so very deliberate about the data that we collect to make sure that we're not exceeding our license and we're not breaking the bank on our gigs per day or events per second licensing. So what that usually means is that we're turning a blind eye to some set of systems or some set of logs just because we don't want to have to pay to have that collection. And they're not critical enough for us to really, really need them at that cost. So what the AD model does is it frees us up to just collect everything. And that way we're not turning a blind eye to anything, which makes me feel pretty good with the overall implementation. The things that I could see maybe going wrong with an AD-based SIM is it makes it too easy to collect all the data. And it's still important for the organization to have use cases and reasons for collecting the data, right? Just because we can bring everything into the SIM is great, but we can't just have a giant pool of data like that and not know why we're collecting it, and not have use cases around it, not have analytics around it to make our analysts effective at actually using that data. And that's not a flaw of the tool. It just might be a byproduct of it being so easy for the security team to put more information into it. Whereas with gigs per day or events per second, those are precious to us, and we're very, very deliberate and very careful about what we put in. So we understand the reasons very clearly for putting those things in. But I think overall, this AD-based model could be incredibly disruptive to the way SIM tools in general are licensed today. And it's going to be interesting to see over time if the bigger players, the industry standard, Splunk, QRadar, Logarithm, ArcSight, those guys are going to have to come out with an answer to this kind of licensing model. So yeah, tell me what you think. Is this something that you think is going to disrupt the way SIMs are licensed today? Do you think that an AD-based model like this could be beneficial to your organization? Or do you see it as a negative or something that won't be as effective as a gigs per day or an events per second type model? Let me know what you think in the comments and have a great weekend.